Hey guys, welcome to the very first edition of the Hummer Sessions, proudly brought to you by the Geelong Hummer Limousines Facebook page, facebook.com/Geelong Hummer Limousines. Now I'm joined by one of Geelong's hottest up-and-coming musicians. You may have known her from The Voice. She's Imogen Brough. How are we doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm always good. And are you sick of being introduced as that girl from The Voice? Yeah.
No, not yet. It was still, it was such an amazing time, so it's nice to be reflective and, use that as some way that people know me. Yeah.
I want to get all the Voice stuff out of the way first.
Yep.
Explain can you remember the night you decided, you know what, I'm going to go apply for The Voice?
Yeah, okay. Well, I reckon it was probably a year ago. I was just about to finish my degree. I did a Bachelor of Music Performance up at Melbourne Uni, majoring in voice, and there's a lot of songwriting involved in that. And I thought, finishing my degree, what am I going to do next year? And I'd been watching the first series of The Voice, and there were some amazing artists on that, and I really liked the way that the show had been put together and the way that everything sort of occurred, with the judges or the coaches having to push the button in order to, to turn around.
Something unique, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is something different within those sort of reality shows, and I thought I have absolutely nothing to lose in this instant, because I have something that is different that might, persuade someone to turn around, and that's that sort of Celtic influence. It's a bit weird and a bit different, but it's working for me because it isn't something that you hear every day. So I thought, I just applied online. I sent in a video, which is I actually sent in my song Heart, just playing and singing it. So that's a bit risky, and they seemed to really like it. And yeah, I got the exciting email to say you have got through to the next round.
What did you do when you read that email?
Oh, it was very crazy. I was so excited because you constantly check your mail and you just don't know. You didn't know when you'd get that email, and I had another friend of mine at uni that had applied, and I had this email, and I'd sort of said, I've got an email, and she's an amazing singer, and she didn't get one, and that was really, really harsh and really sad.
And awkward.
Bit. But she's doing really well, so it doesn't matter. But it just shows, so many amazing singers apply for it, and you've just got to have that little edge or little difference, that might get you over the line. And I was lucky enough to have something a bit quirky and different about me. So yeah, that was great. I'm so glad I did it.
What happens? So you get through. Who chose you again? Who was your judge?
Ricky Martin.
Yeah, it's Ricky Martin. What happens once the cameras go off?
Well, I guess there's a lot of downtime in between sessions, like when you're being filmed. There's rehearsals. My favourite part was arriving in the day, and you'd spend 3 hours doing your hair and makeup and being in wardrobe. Literally, it takes that long to make you look that good. So when you see, and that's the best thing about it. This experience that I was on, everyone involved was for free, and that exposure costs so much money. So in that sense, I was really lucky to just be, handed all of this, because I was accepted in like everybody else. So that was fun, and then we all stayed at the same hotel in Sydney too. So that was heaps of fun. As soon as you'd meet someone from The Voice, you're like, oh, what's your number? So we can hang out because you're there by yourself. So you make friends really quickly in that sense, and it was great fun. I really miss it now talking about it. So.
When you were sitting in the same room with Ricky Martin, just backstage, wasn't that weird?
It was a bit. I still think about it and think, did this whole thing really happen? Did I have that? Did I meet all of these amazing people? Like Joel, Seal, Delta, and Ricky, and Jess Malboy as well, because she was our mentor for Team Ricky. And you sort of have to think about it. If you look at photos, you're like, wow, that really happened, and I think in that moment you're so tied up with because you're on camera and it's like, oh, am I sitting right, am I looking okay, because that's going to be on national TV. You're consciously always thinking about your presentation and not so much this moment, with that amazing singer. But again, I found Ricky and Jess Malboy to be really down to earth and lovely people, and I met his little kids on the last day that I was there, and it just made you feel like they're just normal people, so that's alright.
Did you ask him to sing the chorus of Cup of Life? Because I totally would have done that.
I didn't. There was a lot of jokes about she bang. That went around and around, as you can imagine.
Is he as corny in real life as he appears on the show? In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way. I think he is. His number one little quote was love and light. Saying goodbye to you, or they're the most important things. Love and light. Just this little phrase that he'd always say. But he's got so much knowledge up his sleeves from his time. He left home at 10 or 12, I think he was, to go on the road, and that that's such a full-on step for someone to take. So he, he's really serious in what he does, and I'm so honoured that I got to work with him. It's great.
Well, the voice, that's what a lot of people do know you for, but you were a musician for a long time before that.
I have, yes.
Let's go back to the beginning. What was your first experience with music?
First experience with music? Well, probably kinder. I remember being at kinder. I went to Bond Street Kinder in Newtown, and I remember distinctly running around pretending to river dance to Enya, like no tomorrow. Oh, I was nutty, yeah. Around and around I went with my sister and all our little friends. Loved it. So that sort of, and that's weird because that Celtic influence starting from 3 to 4 year old, and that was sort of there. And mum and dad always listened to that type of music, and so it was a big part of my childhood, with the music that we listened to. And then I started learning piano when I was in grade 1, so quite young, little classical lessons. And I can't thank mum and dad enough for that, because that foundation of learning the piano and that skill really helped build my songwriting technique in being a contemporary songwriter. And just knowledge from music as well was great. And then what else? And I always loved singing, like in primary school and all that sort of stuff. I used to always be the loudest in the class and probably really annoying. The most annoying person. I was always like, rah, really loud. If you watch the DVD of my graduation and like it zooms in on me, my mouth's so wide and so big, I'm just loving it, singing so loud. But then started singing lessons in year 7 and then joined the Sweethearts at Matthew Flinders, and I was a low backing singer, and that was the best fun ever. Loved it.
Was it always... is there a Celtic background with you guys, or was it just your parents liked Celtic music?
Yeah, there is a Celtic background. Dad's English, mum's Australian, and then there's a bit of Irish, and my grandma's French on my dad's side. So there's a couple of different Celtic influences, through my parents and my history in my family, which I think is interesting because it's so strong for me as a singer. It's like I'm really producing what my soul is all about through that style of music. So yeah, it's interesting how those elements that are so raw and really quite powerful can become really present in someone's music. But I definitely think it's a lot to do with what you listen to when you're young, which I listen to that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Is it hard writing that kind of music, thinking, because now you're a lot more popular, you said you're writing stuff for radio, is it hard to sort of incorporate that into commercial type of music?
It is. It is, because it is dorky. Celtic music can be seen as dorky. The elements to it are all corny, as people might say, but the beauty of it is what I love, and that's that real sort of Enya or even theme music. Like I'm inspired by Lord of the Rings, by the singer Lorena McKenna, Lisa Gerrard, that does the theme music for Gladiator, like all that beautiful ambient stuff. But there are slowly beginning to be artists that are introducing that element of Celtic sound in their music, and one of them is Florence the Machine. Whether they don't label her as a Celtic artist, but she's got those elements of angelic vocals and powerful big drums, which is it's hinting at it, and she's one of my biggest influences.
What, you sang her?
I know, if I could be anyone, it would be Florence Welsh.
Okay. Hopefully she's watching this.
I know, I'll be back a singer.
You obviously do realise this, nearly 1 million views.
I know, it's crazy. It's bizarre.
Insane. 1 million people have watched you sing that song.
It's bizarre. It's like, that makes you feel that what you're doing or what I'm doing as a singer is doing something good, because people are obviously enjoying it, and I think that's what music for me is all about, being able to spread a sense of, love and just sort of emotion through music. I think it's something really powerful, so it's amazing. Such a powerful song. I was very lucky to get it.
Before everything took off, how hard is it being a local musician in Geelong?
It is hard. Geelong's music scene can be pretty hard. It's hard to get people out, especially when it's footy season, because it sort of empties when the footy's on.
Now you're playing at the footy, but...
Yeah, no, I just bring them together. That's great. But, I've had so much fun leading up to, this big bang of going on The Voice. I was singing down at Moby's in Torquay, Beebs Bar, Bandit Elbow. Unfortunately, that's gone at the moment. Where else? Not the Barking Dog. Barn Club. Just heaps of different venues. I've been doing weddings. The Torquay Market's another one that I've had a few goes at, which has been fun. And, every time it's been just lovely. Down at Lawn, the Pacific Hotel, I was doing a 3-hour gig on a Monday afternoon over
3
summer.
hour?
Yeah, 3 hours. So it was like pub gigs. So I just and that's sort of a practice gig. It's good.
Yeah.
You go through all the new songs and cheering them out. But it is hard. But I was slowly, a couple of newspaper articles here and there about, this random girl or just doing bits and pieces. But as soon as The Voice happened, it definitely exploded. And that sense of community value and support was really sort of under me, which is amazing. But yeah.
You know, you've been asked to do all these different things. You said just before we started filming, Geelong Cup, you're singing the national anthem.
I know.
Are you scared you're going to mess up the words?
I actually am a bit. I'm starting to practice because it's kind of creeping up, and you sing it every Monday at primary school, the whole school. But to be singing it by myself and to a backing track, because I don't often work with backings. It's generally me, my keyboard, or a guitarist. So that'll be really exciting though, because it's quite an honour to be able to be asked to sing that.
What's been the most nerve-wracking thing you've done so far, like post-Voice?
I would have been the footy gig.
Yeah?
Yeah, Simmons Stadium that time, yeah. St Kilda versus Geelong.
Pretty big crowd, over 20,000.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest crowd you've obviously played to?
Yeah, well, live.
Yeah.
Completely biggest crowd, and because it was being recorded as well, it's sort of like pressure. This has to be right. And I was playing piano and I had a guitarist, so I felt so much better with him being there, just having someone, to share that time with, because it was a bit scary, but looking back, I loved it. It was, a great opportunity, and for a great cause for Casey Tashangi, the foundation that they've got there, so it was good.
You got a few other gigs coming up too, Brian Kennedy.
Yes, I've been lucky enough to get the opportunity to do 3 supporting gigs with Brian Kennedy, who's, for those of you who don't know, he is Ireland's host of The Voice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he still does, and I think that's a couple of years ago. So that's a great connection, because both from The Voice.
Do you think I knew that, or was it coincidence?
I think it's coincidence.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Who knows? The music industry works in funny ways.
Yeah.
Maybe, because that is that strong connection, it's probably done on purpose. But and with my music being that sort of slightly Celtic influence, and him being from Ireland, it's a great match, I think. But so we've got a show happening on the 15th of September, which is a Sunday night, down at the Anglesey Golf Club.
Yeah, cool.
So that's happening. Then there's one on the 20th in Port Fairy.
And you got Queenscliff as well?
Yep, Queenscliff is coming up. I'm playing, I think, 3 sets Saturday and one on the Sunday.
So 3 Saturday and 1 Sunday, or 3 over the 2 days? 3
over the 2 days, yep. So two sessions on the Saturday and then 1 on the Sunday, and that's great, because I remember last year I was the Foot in the Door competition, which is the stage before getting in, and it's really nice watching that progress from starting, at a lower level, which is great to be able to start there, and to be finally accepted as an artist is really exciting.
And you're going to be playing some new stuff, I'm assuming?
Yes, I'm wanting to re-record a song of mine called Heart, and so I'm hoping to have that done within about 6 weeks, and with that comes a nice video clip that I've been planning. So I've been scheming and trying to find the perfect dress and the headpiece and all that sort of stuff. So it's been, having that creative project on the go has been really exciting. So I've got some big things happening, but the single Heart is going to be exciting.
Are you going to bring an album out next, or an EP, do you think?
Well, I guess I'll have to see where my journey takes me. Financially, an EP will be easier for me because I'm unsigned, and at the moment that's great, with where I am, because I think it's I'm still really in control of what I'm doing, and I'm loving my direction and my progress. But I'm thinking in about 6 months I'd like it depends how my single goes, so if you like it, it might be successful. I'd love to do an album, because I do have the right amount of songs, but I guess it's fine-tuning all those songs and making them absolutely 100% for that effort that I'd put in. And I might find a record company that wants to help me.
I'm sure you will. They'll be out there watching now. Alright, well, thank you once again for joining us on the first Hummer Sessions. We do appreciate it. And make sure you guys like the Geelong Hummer Limousines Facebook page, facebook.com/Geelong Hummer Limousines. Thanks for watching the first Hummer Sessions.